You can feel it, right? Something big just flipped. Japan's Nike just ripped through another all-time high. Not a minor move here. A straight up vertical candle to the sky. And every time the global markets start melting upward like this, it's the same exact pattern. Stocks move first and then crypto follows. Always. You don't believe me? Go look back in history. It'll show you the exact picture that I'm painting. But this time, folks, it's not just price action. It's coordination. We're talking governments, banks, fintechs, even old school institutions. They are all moving in the same direction at once. And the craziest part, the signs are everywhere, hiding in plain sight. So let's tell the story of what's really happening right now. Because this isn't a bull run. This is the setup for the next global reset. Welcome back to the show. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. The more thumbs up we get, the more YouTube's going to push the content. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss an amazing moment as we navigate through these cryptocurrency markets. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Bitcoin, $109,504. Look, not too much has changed since this morning, right? I mean, the markets are very, very flat right now. Ethereum's coming out 38.40 and XRP $2.49 as a total cryptocurrency market cap, 3.59 trillion. November. That is the day, that is the month, and the day that we want to know is going to be the 13th. We're going to get into that in just a second, but I want to start out right here. Let's set the stage here, right? The first spark, it's coming from Japan. You can see on the screen what we're looking at right here. Their top index just smashed past 52,000 points. This is the highest level in history. The decades of sideways movement all wiped out in one single rally. This is the type of breakout that tells you liquidity is back. And I'll tell you right now, I like when liquidity's back. But here's the thing about Japan. Because when they move early. Back in the late 80s, Japan led the world in an asset boom. Bet you didn't remember that one. Now they might be leading us into the exact next boom. But this time, it's a little bit different. Because it's a digital boom. So why though, right? Because Japan's economy, it is one of the most intertwined with global banking infrastructures. Their stock market surging, it means that risk on sentiment is spreading. And you know what that means? It means money, it starts looking for new opportunities. Historically, when we see Nike rally, crypto inflows rise shortly after. It's almost like a global liquidity echo. It's not a coincidence. It is what we call a chain reaction. Cue the drums. I know that was good. Now we get over to this. Jamie Dimon, finally, the man is admitting it. This was at the Fortunes event. And he finally came out and he said, look, yeah, crypto, Bitcoin, it's real, it's here. How many years did this man fight it? You know what the narrative is here, right? As they are loading up, buying it, building their products, they lie to the retail public. And then all they do is they come out and they're like, okay, I was wrong. That's all they have to say. 3 words, I was wrong. And then everyone thinks that he is the superhero here. Listen.
Bitcoin.
My blockchain is real. Stable coins may have a real use. We have the JP Morgan coin. Tokens will be real. Programmable money will be, all that'll be real. I'm not going to say that about Bitcoin because then that's all I'm going to read about in the headlines. So next, and then I get, death threats and shit like that. So, that stuff. Like.
So it's not a pet rock, but maybe a pet rock, TBD. But the underlying technology, you think? Is
yeah, but I've always said that. Blockchain is
yes.
a technology that we've all been yapping about for 12 years, and it's not fully deployed. because it's hard to deploy blockchain that we all agree on permissions and rules. And I do, we do use it. We use it intraday repo. I think it's going to replace certain systems we all use that are clunky or late or not 24/7. Those are all legitimate complaints. And blockchain may be one of the things that fixes that. Other technologies can fix it too, by the way. It's not the only thing that can fix it. And sometimes it's a solution looking for a problem. We already move money real-time payments. Most of it moves digitally in effect. It runs through AML, KYC, risk systems when it happens. And you can't just replace all that with a blockchain and think you're doing what regulators and governments want you to do. So it's a little more complicated than just it's going to replace.
So he says blockchain is real. Stablecoins may have a real use. We have JP Morgan coin. Tokens will be real. Programmable money, all of that will be real. This is not a small comment by him. That's the CEO of one of the most powerful banks on earth confirming what crypto has been screaming for over a decade. The future of money is programmable. And let's be real, when the banks that fought crypto start building on it, that's your final stage of denial. They fought it, they mocked it, now they're adopting it. Just like Tim Draper told you the playbook was years ago. This is how every revolution goes. First, they ignore you, then they fight you, then they copy you, and finally, they call it innovation. You can't make it up. And while banks are still writing press releases, Revolut, they just did it. They rolled out a one-to-one USD to stablecoin swaps across USDC and USDT. Zero fees, zero spreads for 65 million users spanning across 6 different blockchains. It's mind-blowing right there. This isn't a crypto startup. This is a mainstream digital bank used by everyday people across the world. They just made stablecoins as easy to use as fiat. That's the type of adoption that we need, folks. That is what we are looking for. Imagine someone in London sending USDC to someone in New York instantly, no fees, no waiting for banking hours. Well, that's exactly what XRP and other settlement layers and systems were built for. So the question becomes, is this the new standard? If Revolut just normalized stablecoins for 65 million people, how long before PayPal, Venmo, or your local bank does exactly the same? Because once we get a taste of the instant and the global money, we're not going to go back to processing in 2 to 3 business days. Let that sink in. And in the day we're all waiting for, this is it, folks. You better strap in. You better lock in. You better position. Because the 13th of November, XRP ETF, a spot ETF, will be launched by Canary Capital. They just filed their updated S1. They removed the delaying amendment, meaning that the SEC can no longer stall it. It now has an auto effective track with a launch date set for the 13th of November. It's about a little bit over a week after Swell. Like the timing. It's right around the corner. I'll be here before you know it. And that one change, it removes the delaying clause. It is the kind of quiet paperwork that makes history. And you know what's going to happen? All of these other places that have an ETF filed for XRP, they're going to do the exact same thing because they all want to be first. Because if you're first, you're going to make the most money. They're not going to wait for the government to reopen to get this thing launched. They're going to do the exact same playbook, the exact same script, and they're all going to get this thing launched as quick as possible because they know the first one through the door is going to make the most green. And they're here for the green, folks. Wall Street's greenlighting access to XRP as an official, regulated investment product. This is the bridge moment when the token built for utility finally becomes part of the institutional infrastructure. Think about it. ETFs are the final stamp of legitimacy. That's why I tell you, if the cryptocurrency, the crypto asset, whatever you want to call it, that you have your money in or you are looking into, if it doesn't have an ETF, if it doesn't have talks about an ETF, if you never think it's going to get an ETF, you shouldn't be looking into it. because only the assets moving forward that have ETFs are going to be the ones that are going to be around and are going to be the ones that are going to appreciate in value. Once institutions can hold XRP on their balance sheets, liquidity explodes, and not from hype, but from actual adoption. Here's the big picture, and no one's talking about it. Global markets are aligning. Japan's pumping liquidity. America is quietly preparing a digital settlement framework. Europe's finalizing MiCA regulation, and banks are now admitting what we have known since we've entered the crypto space. We are past theory. It is all happening right now in front of us. And when the dust settles, those who saw the pattern early, like me and you, who understood utility before hype, we won't just be investors. We're going to be pioneers of the new financial world, because this next era, it's not about speculation. It is about transformation. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy your Halloween. Be safe out there. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll catch all y'all bright and early Saturday morning.